The significant challenge that we are facing at present are the foodborne illnesses, pathogens like Salmonella, E. coli, Vibrio cholerae, Listeria. They continue to pose threat to food safety, which leads to outbreaks and illnesses. Second comes your contaminants. It can be through biological contaminants or physical contaminants or chemical contaminants, such as your pesticides, your heavy metals, toxins from molds that can contaminate food at various stages during the production, processing, distribution, and storage. Next comes your food fraud and security, where there's intentional adulteration or misinterpretation of food for profit or economic gain, which can compromise on the food quality aspect. Next comes your supply chain complexities and your globalization. So, as and when the supply chain becomes longer, larger, and way more complex, it becomes challenging to trace and monitor the safety hazards of food products from the farm to fork. Next is your climate change. So, climate change impacts the weather, the agricultural produce, the farming techniques, the harvesting, the entire food production system, potentially leading to increased food safety risks like contamination, spoilage, and etc., which is how to effectively address these challenges. Now, looking at a multifaceted approach, we need certain things are necessary. First and foremost is to have a strict and stringent regulations and enforcement of it, and proper awareness and training, education and training. Now, our Indian food safety regulatory body is Food Safety Standards Authority of India. They have FOSTAC, which is Food Safety Training and Certification Program, wherein we have different programs for different kinds of business, international cooperation, promoting and collaborating among different global stakeholders, different food regulators across world, be it FDA, FAO, the EU regulations, international organizations, whether if it is WHO, industry stakeholders, and resources to address these global phenomenons and food safety challenges effectively. And then comes your empowerment through consumer awareness, using the power of technology and social media to create simplified versions and to create awareness amongst customers to know what are the risks that is ongoing, what are the safety hazards, and how to effectively overcome these challenges. Let me split this into two parts. One is for the home kitchens and other is for any food establishment. You need to check if the vendors that you're getting from are approved by FSSAI. Check for the appearance, the physical aspects of the product. Also check for the dates. If that particular products, packaged products have use by date, manufacturing date, and all the other details specified on the packaging. So you need to have a copy of their license as well as all the information just in case if the food is being recalled, you need to trace it properly. Inspect the food, which is while the incoming food has to be inspected. For example, if it is a fresh food like your fruits and vegetables, or when you're buying food in bulk like your rice, dal, or oil, or even meat, poultry, seafood, you need to check for their appearance, for their temperature, for their color, and their texture. It is very important. When your if your gut instincts say that they don't seem to be good, please return those products. And also check for, because each of the products that I mentioned have each parameters that you need to check. For rice is your beetles and weevils, and the color of the rice. When it comes to dal also the color, and it should not have any powdery texture. When it comes to meat, the color of the meat should be red, brick red, and it should not be green, orange, or darker brown in color, which means that the meat is really old. And when it comes to egg, um, per egg weight should be somewhere between 55 to 60 grams, considering if it is medium egg. All you can do is shake the egg and see if the egg yolk is moving. If it is not moving, then it is considered to be an healthy yolk. If it is moving, then it is an old egg. These are one way to identify and inspect the food. And also ask your customer, which is your vendors, different questions. They should be aware of the origin from where this particular product has been coming from. They should be knowing when it was procured and what temperature has it been served to the establishment. Next is the storage practices. Each and every product has different storage practices to ensure that these products are being stored properly. Now, when it comes to food establishments, be it manufacturing or restaurants, each of them have a mandatory role to conduct either once in 2 months or once in 3 months a supplier audit, to go to their supplier's unit or warehouse or storage area from wherever they're sourcing those products, to conduct a supplier audit to check if they are all feasible or not, or if they are all matching to the if they are all compliant. And look for the labels to see if the labels are compliant with the FSSAI label and display 2020 Act. Check for the color, check for the texture, check for press. Use the touch and press method. Watermelons are adulterated with ethylene peroxides for faster ripening. And then the watermelons are also adulterated with colorants. To check for all that, you can use a tissue paper, or you can also see the exterior part of the watermelon if it has a lot of powder. And if you find any physical uh, appearance like holes and all that, the stem has to be green in color and it shouldn't be brown in color. When you come back home, it is always necessary for you to rinse all your fruits and vegetables thoroughly, dry them, and then store them. Or else store them under appropriate temperatures. Before using, you can wash them, because washing is very, very important. We don't know what sort of chemical contaminants can be present in them. And then comes your handling. Handling comes with you need to use a different knives, different chopping boards, which is being followed in the restaurants. When it comes to home, it's always better to use different chopping boards for vegetable and non-vegetarian foods, so that there is no cross-contamination involved. Same way, cleaning and sanitation practices for these equipments are also important. And proper storage, storing all fruits and vegetables together and separately, and then storing all your animal products separately, and storing your raw food products like your salads and your cooked products like your gravies or your sambar, everything separately and covered, and not storing beyond its expiry dates would definitely, these are the good food safety practices that you can follow at home. Another one is having a separate dustbins, wet and dry garbage, and not open ones, and using pedal operated bins and covered ones can also ensure and restrict flies, moths, and other pests around the kitchen. Is at home, we are used to storing leftovers. You need to keep a track of the day of preparation and for how many days you can store it. For that sake, you also need to keep checking the color, the texture, and as well as the smell of the gravy that you're storing. When it comes to leftover pizzas, leftover rice, you also need to know as to for how long, what is the validity period of these cooked products, and for how long can you store them. After storing, when you remove it, keep it outside after refrigeration. How many times can you reheat? You cannot reheat more than once. And when you're deep frying items, you cannot deep fry uh, in the same oil for more than 2 times. So how do you identify if the oil has gone rancid? Has it been chemically contaminated with peroxides? The one way to identify at home is to see the color of the oil. So, also identify, or also to check if the oil is spewing any gray smoke. These are also a way to create consumer awareness. This can be done through small snippets of videos or YouTube videos or social media posts, people find something relatable like synthetic paneer or the colorants on watermelon or the ripening of mangoes or the reusing of oils. If people find it relevant, then it's easier for them to share and create awareness as well.